Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Schluntz Gym on the campus of Brookline High School in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you this season opening high school varsity girls basketball contest between the visiting Red Hawks of Natick High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. It's a new season and new fun to be had out here at Schluntz. And folks, I'm not alone in bringing you the fun here today, as I am joined by my color commentator today, Brookline High freshman Sam Lowenstein. Sam, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me on tonight, Jesse. Brookline taking on a Natick team that beat them twice last season. It was a hard last season for Brookline. They went 1-19. Natick went 5-14. Brookline will look to get a little bit of revenge on Natick tonight.
Both teams, like you said, missed the playoffs with losing records. Both teams looking to take a step forward in this new season. Brookline, like you said, 1-19. They graduated a talented senior class in 2023, and now they're building their way back up to success. And hey, after a one-win season, the only way is up. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Let's take a look at the let's run our intro video first, and then we'll take a look at the lineups. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Warriors versus Red Hawks. You are watching Brookline High Basketball. Now Agakich running in transition. Agakich sees a lane, runs in, layup is good, and one. Going to the floor, Agakich picks it up, passes it back across half court to Hauner, throws it across, Wheeler, open three, yes! To Zanini, down low, Matarazza backing down, spinning, shot, banks it, and one! Wheatley pass intercepted by Kimbrough. Kimbrough running the fast break, goes up, hits it! Inside, Sophie Fish almost lost the ball. Ball's knocked away! It was knocked away by Zanini, and it's held on by McMahon, and Brookline holds on to win! All right, that was our intro, and you could see as the last clip of that intro, the game-winning steal that Brookline had against Milton in overtime to get their lone win from last season. They're hoping to start this off, maybe match that win total right from the jump here. Let's take a look at the rosters. We'll start with the Natick High Red Hawks here on our left in their blue warm-ups. Going in order of jersey number for Natick, first off we have a senior number 2, Christina Lopas. A sophomore number 3, Lily Downing. A sophomore number 4, Denai Williams. A sophomore number 11, Megan Pohl. A senior captain number 12, Kira Henderson. A sophomore number 15, Bridget Pohl. A freshman number 20, Kayla Dunlap. A senior captain number 23, Addie Roby. A senior captain number 24, Sammy Collins. A senior captain number 25, Olivia Penn. And a junior number 33, Katie McMahon. Head coach of the Natick High girls basketball team is Oryx Cohen. And as we've still got about 3.5 minutes on our pregame clock, as you can see on the scoreboard cam in the bottom left corner of your screen, let's move over to the right now and let's look at the 2024-25 Brookline High girls basketball Warriors. Going in order of jersey number 4, Brookline, first off we have a senior number 1, Olivia Zanini. Next, a sophomore number 2, Isabel Izzy Woods. A junior, number 3, Jada Kimbrough. A junior, number 4, Ivy Wheeler. A senior, number 11, Kyrie Simmons. A freshman, number 12, Skylar Makalewski. A junior, number 13, Nefeli Aga-Kitch. A junior, number 14, Jaden Williams. A senior, number 15, Amelie Hauner. A senior, number 21, Olivia Matarazza. A junior, number 22, Viviana McDonald. And a senior, number 23, Julia Danker. Head coach of the Brookline High girls basketball team is Kendall Jones. So those are our rosters coming into today. Both teams returning a lot of players from last year. Natick only graduating 3 players, Katie Stupka, True Liner, and Remy Shapiro. Brookline graduating just 2 in Gigi McMahon and Stephanie Gravely. And we've got a graphic here showing the leading scores from last year. You can see the number 4 and 5 spots out of the top 5 occupied by now graduated players, but each of the top 3 returning. Nefeli Aga-Kitch averaging a team high 7.3 points per game. Olivia Matarazza averaging 5.5, and Jada Kimbrough averaging 5.05. So, Sam, continuity a little better this year and maybe a chance to grow and improve and have this team take a step forward.
Well, most definitely, Jesse. Also, I think that one of the keys to Brookline winning more games in this season is going to be their youth. Izzy Woods coming up as a sophomore. She got some action as a freshman on the varsity team in limited sample size. And then also having a freshman on the team, Skylar Makalewski. Brookline's going to need those youth players to show up for them this season.
All right, it'll be a mix of experience and youth. And we'll see who are going to be the stars stepping up this year for Brookline as we get ready for the season opening contest. The last seconds tick off the clock here at Schluntz on the pregame clock, and soon the PA announcer will take the reins and get us started with starting lineups, national anthem, all that jazz, and we'll get this one underway. All right, we got our starting lineups, the national anthem, and we are soon to get this one underway. And Sam, right off the bat, seeing the starting lineup, we can see the mix of experience and youth you were talking about going to play out. The freshman, Skylar Makaluski, getting the start in her first ever varsity game. She's going to be taking the floor immediately alongside veteran teammates Jada Kimbrough, Nefeli Aga-Kitch, Olivia Zanini, and Olivia Matarazza. For Natick, the starters we heard: Kira Henderson, Bridget Pohl, Kayla Dunlap, Sammy Collins, and Olivia Penn, as I think someone just knocked our scoreboard camera. Hopefully that can stay a little bit more steady.
Looks steady for now.
Just the legs rather than the camera. All right, we got 8 minutes on the clock here in the first quarter of play. Brookline versus Natick. Here we go. Matarazza and Collins to take the opening tip-off. Here we go, the 2024-25 season underway. Natick controls the opening tip. Quick pass to Bridget Pohl, blocked by Olivia Matarazza. Welcome to the new season, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Bridget Pohl got wide open on the right side. Natick working a cross-court pass, but a good knock away.
Looking for the inbound, I believe it's Olivia Penn. Throws it out to Kira Henderson. Back into Penn, back out. Pohl tries for three from the corner. No good. Rebound knocked loose, goes out of bounds. Last touched by Natick.
Well, Natick's been really targeting Bridget Pohl these first two attempts. They've been working it to her on the right side.
Inbound goes to Olivia Zanini, gives it back to Nefeli Aga-Kitch, breaks the press by throwing it up to Makaluski, and great assist to Olivia Matarazza for the first bucket of the season.
Maserata beats the aggressive press of Natick's defense.
And what a great team effort to bust that press. And almost all, 4 of the 5 players touched the ball on that one. Great ball movement and a great assist from Skylar Makaluski on her first high school career offensive possession. Natick with the ball now. Henderson gives to Pohl, back to Henderson, to the corner. Dunlap back out to Henderson. Henderson looking from the top, throws inside, deflected out of bounds by Makaluski to prevent a wide open look for Collins.
And that's the freshman making yet another impact here in the early going.
Penn throws it in for Henderson, almost juggled it, but recollected it, dribbles, throws inside, disrupted by Matarazza, but recovered by Collins. Gives now to Penn and over to Henderson. Henderson inside to Penn, outside Dunlap. Dunlap from the corner. Runs baseline pass into traffic, and it's intercepted by Makaluski, but she fell down, and that counts as a travel.
Well, Brookline, they've been running what looks to be a 2-3 zone defense as opposed to Natick's press.
And that's going to be an early timeout for Natick here. 1 minute into the action, just one bucket as we take a look at the instant replay of that layup by Matarazza, assisted by Makaluski. And Brookline moving well and moving fast early in this one, Sam.
And Brookline will have to move fast in this game. Natick already showing that they're willing to press. They had 2 players on going to every single pass that Brookline did. Brookline had good, strong, fast ball movement, and that's why they got the bucket.
All right, we'll see how this one plays out. Like you said, Sam, they're really trying to target Bridget Pohl, the sophomore starter. Last year as a freshman in the second go-around between Brookline and Natick, which ended up being a 51-33 victory for the Red Hawks. Bridget Pohl led Natick with 12 points in that outing. And so they are looking to get her going early in this one. But also some other dangerous players to watch out for. Kira Henderson in that second matchup put up 9 points. So we'll see how things shake out as we get back to the action. Natick set to inbound after the traveling call. Penn looking around. And that pass blocked by Matarazza, picked up quickly by Makaleski, and Brookline gets another takeaway, and that's going to be a reach foul called against Penn for the first foul of the game.
And as we've been talking about, Brookline hasn't had to play the aggressive defense. They've been sitting back in zone coverage, and it's worked out for them.
And a trap here. Kimbrough could not escape, and that's going to be a jump ball. Good team defense from Henderson and Dunlap. Natick controlled the opening tip, so Brookline gets the possession arrow for this, the first jump ball of the game. Kimbrough inbounds to Zanini, poked loose by Dunlap, trapped in the other corner now. And another jump ball. This time it's going to go to Natick. Brookline dribbling right into the trap defense 2 times in a row.
Well, Brookline will need to spread out in order to get around the trap. Both defenses have been locking down the other side in the early going.
Pohl with the ball on the wing, dribbles in, knocked loose, couldn't get the favorable deflection. It stays with Natick, but disrupted again by Matarazza, who's been getting a number of deflections early. Penn to inbound for Natick. Throws it in, finds Henderson, misses the lay-in, rebound, Zanini hit from behind, and that's going to be another foul on the Red Hawks.
And yet again, Natick double-teaming a Brookline player, and there's been a lot of whistles, stoppages, fouls, etc. in the early going of this one.
They call that one against Henderson, her first personal, second team. Zanini gives to Agakic, who chucks it up to Matarazza, gives to Makaleski as they set up on offense. Kimbrough swings it over to Agakic at the top. Agakic knocked loose from behind by Dunlap, picked up by Penn, thrown up to Dunlap, fast break going up, and the layup is good. Kayla Dunlap with the first bucket of the game for Natick as they inbound to Zanini. Knocked loose again. The press working for Natick as Penn recovers the ball. Gives to Henderson. Henderson from the top swings it over to Pohl. Back to Henderson. Thought about the three, decided against it. Swings back to Pohl, and that one deflected, and Makaleski got it off the body of Collins for the out of bounds.
Well, Brookline had the right idea on that attack. Had Matarazza and Makaleski spread out on the left and the right side. Just couldn't get the fundamentals down.
They break the press again this time. Makaleski with the ball. Pass out to Agakic. Agakic getting double teamed quickly again. Gets rid of the ball to Kimbrough. Kimbrough driving. Looks for the extra pass. Matarazza finishes. Beautiful drive and pass by Jada Kimbrough, and Matarazza has her second bucket of the day.
Brookline's been doing a good job to weave their way through the defense.
Inside they go to Penn, outside to Henderson. Henderson travels. Stepped before she dribbled.
And although Brookline haven't been playing ultra aggressive, they haven't allowed anything in the paint, that good zone defense.
Kimbrough throws it into traffic. It's knocked right back, and Kimbrough does chase it down in bounds. Probably shouldn't have done that as her foot goes on the line. Out of bounds, Natick ball. Natick to inbound as we got a couple of subs checking in for the Red Hawks. Number 23, Addie Roby, and number 33, Katie McMahon, replacing Henderson and Collins. Penn inbounds back to Roby. Roby looking, gives to Pohl. Pohl back to Roby. Roby to the corner, deflected by Agakic, out of bounds. Was looking for Dunlap on that pass.
Well, a wide open Kayla Dunlap in that left corner, but Brookline, the zone defense comes in.
And now out of the inbound, it's Pohl swinging it across to Dunlap. Dunlap, the only one who's scored for Natick so far here in the first 3 minutes. They go inside to McMahon, outside Dunlap. Dunlap from the wing, dribbles through, goes for the layup, no good. Had to really force that one, but she recovers it, keeps it in bounds. They swing it around, 3-ball attempt is no good from Pohl. Rebound ultimately recovered by Kimbrough. Kimbrough trying to escape the double team pressure, and she does, gets across half court, right into a trap, passes out of the triple team to Zanini, inside Matarazza, mid-range jumper, switch. Olivia Matarazza with all 6 of Brookline's points to start.
And Matarazza, she just uses her height there, gets a wide open shot despite being guarded right over the top of the head.
Natick trying to move it fast. Another deflection of the passing lanes from Aga Kitch prevents an open look for McMahon. It'll be Natick ball as Brookline subs in number 2, Izzy Woods, replacing Olivia Zanini.
Well, Natick's been working the ball primarily from the right to the left side. They've had success, but Brookline's been able to shut down the looks quickly.
Pohl throwing it to the corner. Penn running in, extra pass. McMahon missed on the floater there, but the rebound recovered by Roby. Passes out to Penn. Penn mid-range, no good. Rebound, and a foul is going to be called on Dunlap as she collided with Makaluski on that loose ball.
Well, it's been a physical game in the early going. Natick's actually been winning the rebound battles, getting a lot of second chance opportunities, but Brookline's been doing enough.
Subbing in for Brookline now, number 4, Ivy Wheeler, replaces Skylar Makaluski. Dunlap with a big deflection there, and Natick takes it back, quick passing, and Olivia Penn finishes for the bucket.
And Penn getting open from the pass from Dunlap, and yet again Natick working it primarily from the right. This time they hit the middle of the court to get an open shot.
Timeout is called. I think Brookline called this timeout. 6-4, the Warriors lead. All 6 points coming from Olivia Matarazza, who by last year's points per game average already having an above average game just in the first 4 minutes of this season. 6 points for the senior captain for Brookline. For Natick, their 4 points divided evenly between Kayla Dunlap and Olivia Penn, who have 2 points each. And it's really, Sam, like we've been saying, it's a case of can Brookline escape the press and the double teams, the aggressive defense that Natick's bringing? Because when Natick gets those takeaways, they are a threat in the fast break. They've gotten both of their buckets off turnovers, as Brookline's zone defense, as you've mentioned, has contained Natick's passing lanes very well. It's just a matter of who gets those quick runs in response to Natick's high-pressure defense.
And as long as Brookline can get set up, most of their offensive success has been when they've been able to spread out on offense, get open looks without being under pressure.
And they abandon the pressure out of the timeout. This should be interesting as Kimbrough walks the ball up for Brookline, gives it to Aga Kitch on the wing, up top, Wheeler. Now over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough looking, goes inside. Matarazza backing down, turnaround, jumper, in and out, no good. Rebound by Roby. Gives to Penn now. Brings it up, throws back, backdoor cut by McMahon, but the pass, just a little too much air on it, and her foot comes down on the back line.
Just a bit of an unlucky play for Natick as they go back to the press.
Woods completes the long pass to Kimbrough. Kimbrough throws wide open. Matarazza, easy finish at the hoop for 2. Another press-busting bucket for Brookline, and Matarazza now has 8. Pohl throws inside to Penn. Outside, Roby for 3. No good. Rebound to Aga Kitch. Aga Kitch taking off, not wasting any time as she runs in transition and draws a reach foul on Dunlap.
Man, Jesse, Olivia Matarazza, she's been downright dominant in the early going, using her size to really exploit the Natick defense, and when she gets wide open, there's no stopping her.
And credit to the assisting Brookline teammates. Jada Kimbrough getting the assist that time as she is going to sub out. So is Matarazza. In comes number 11, Kyrie Simmons, and number 23, Julia Denker, replacing Kimbrough and Matarazza. Aga Kitch inbounds to Simmons. That pass lost, picked up by Penn. Penn running the floor in transition, throws to the corner. Extra pass, McMahon fakes, throws one up, and hits it with the left hand.
And Natick's had most of their success on offense going through the middle rather than the left side when they've been trying to work it to the left. They haven't been able to find the passing lanes.
Travel called on Woods, and Natick will have the inbound. Penn throws it back to number 4, Denai Williams, who's checked into the game. Throws to the corner to Pohl. Pohl from the top gives to Penn. Penn throws across Williams. And a reach foul is going to be called on Izzy Woods. First foul for Brookline so far today, as Natick's got 4 already.
Brookline sticking in their 2-3 zone defense.
Bridget Pohl to inbound, gives to Penn. Swings it across, Williams for 3, gets the bounce. First tray of the day, and it comes from Denai Williams as Natick takes its first lead of the day, 9-8. Ivy Wheeler gives to Simmons, stolen away by Penn, off and running on the fast break. Layup is good.
Man, Jesse, Nate's just been killing Brookline on these fast break opportunities. Now 6 points off of turnovers.
Aga Kitch looking around, gives to Woods. Woods from the wing, gives to Denker, handoff back to Woods. Woods travels. Slid a bit as she was trying to pull up for that shot, and they call the walk.
And just some of the things that happen when it's the first game of the season. More travels, more turnovers.
Inbound given to Penn. Penn gives to Pohl on the wing, back to Penn. Penn to Williams, inside McMahon, outside Penn. Penn swings it over. Williams again from the wing. Wide of the hoop this time as she airballs it. Chased down by Wheeler. Wheeler running it quickly in transition. Gives to Aga Kitch. Aga Kitch winds and fires from the top. No good. Rebound Williams. Almost knocked loose by Denker, but Williams recovers it and gives it to Penn. Penn brings it up for Natick. Throws it to an open Collins, but pinball ricochet there as it went off the bottom of the backboard and then off the body of, I think, Denker it was, as Natick will keep possession as a couple of subs check in. For Natick, number 2, Christina Lopez checks in, replacing Sammy Collins.
And it looked like it went off the head of Julia Denker. Glad she's okay.
Lopez, after checking in, will inbound for the Redhawks. 11-8, Natick leads here in the closing minutes of the first quarter. Inbound complete to Williams, steps in, kicks out from the corner. Lopez, no good. Rebound lost in the feet of several players, and a jump ball is called. It'll be Brookline ball.
Well, Natick, they've been abandoning their inside attack. They've been settling for more threes on the wings.
Substitution for Brookline. Matarazza checks back in as the inbound goes to Simmons. Simmons dribbles it across half court, hands off Woods, gives back Simmons. Simmons sees a lane, runs in, blocked by McMahon. Loose ball picked up by Penn, throws it ahead. Pohl, fast break layup, no good, whiffed on it. Woods with the rebound. Woods running it back the other way, throws it across. Matarazza, extra pass. Wheeler running baseline. Got stopped and gets fouled as she tried to kick it out to Matarazza. That'll be another reach foul on Natick, their 5th of the quarter, with 42.1 seconds to go here in the first frame.
And man, Jesse, it's been an awfully physical game here in the first quarter. Brookline working the wings well.
And that is actually going to be the bonus. This started last year, the system of bonus fouls being triggered by 5 fouls in a quarter. Ivy Wheeler hits the first of 2. Couple of subs for the closing seconds of the first quarter. Kimbrough and Makaluski back in the game, replacing Aga Kitch and Simmons. Wheeler 2 for 2 at the line, cuts the Natick lead down to 1. Walking it up is Pohl, gives it across to Penn. Back to Pohl, to the corner, Williams steps in. Floats one out to Penn, swings it around quick. Lopez for 3, no good. Rebound tipped again. And it's another jump ball as Kimbrough and McMahon both got their hands on it. And this time it will go to Natick. 4th jump ball of this first quarter. as Penn gets ready to inbound.
It seems like Natick's just been out physicaling Brookline.
Williams gets her pocket picked. Woods, fast break, layup is good. Izzy Woods turned that into a reverse announcer jinx as she got physical on that one for the fast break lay-in. Lopez pass to Penn, to Williams, to Lopez. Pass gets up to Pole. Pole double teamed and ran out of time. And that is how the first quarter will end, with that fast break layup from Izzy Woods, giving Brookline a 1-point lead at the end of one, 12-11. Individual point totals from that first frame, leading the way for Brookline. Olivia Matarazzo with 8, Izzy Woods and Ivy Wheeler with 2 each. For Natick, 4 from Olivia Penn, 3 from Denai Williams, 2 each from Kayla Dunlap and Katie McMahon. And I forgot to say this during the pregame, but we are sponsored in our broadcast here this winter. This broadcast brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent, Dr. Brandon Esch, for the non-corporate, personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. You can see their logo down in the bottom center of your screen, and you can also check out in the description section down below. You'll find that link and phone number that I mentioned before. So really fast-moving action has been the name of the game so far, Sam. Just a question of whether Natick's fast-moving defense gets the takeaways from Brookline, or whether Brookline is able to move their offense fast enough to create some wide-open looks under the basket.
For sure, Jesse. And it's also seemed that Natick, they've altered their strategy. As the first quarter went on, they started taking more three-pointers. They were able to spread out Brookline a little bit more, which subsequently allowed them to get into the paint.
As we start the second quarter, Woods brings it up, being pressured by Dunlap, and she does not get loose. Take it away. Penn walking the ball up, throws to the corner to Pole. Pole running inside, layup no good, but she draws the foul on Matarazzo.
And there, Brookline spreading out just a bit to cover Bridget Pole. She's able to weave her way. Natick's evolved in their offense.
First foul of the new quarter, first personal for Matarazzo, as Pole will go to the line for 2. And misses the first. Pole got some almost open looks the first couple of possessions of the game, but has not scored as of yet. Missed that first one, now gets set for the second.
And you got to think, Jesse, Brookline must have made a concerted effort to guard Bridget Pole, as she had a lot of success last season against Brookline in their matchups.
And so already with one free throw miss, this looks like a good foul by Matarazzo. And Pole missed them both. Rebound collected by Skylar Makaleski. Makaleski brings it up, and it's picked loose again by Dunlap, and picked loose again, chased down again by Makaleski, all the way in the back court now. Gives it over to Woods as Dunlap creating fits for the Brookline ball handlers. And Woods' pass intercepted, disrupted from behind by Dunlap, but the interception caught by Kira Henderson. Gives it to Penn, back to Henderson. Henderson back to Penn, now over to Pole. Pole setting up from the top. Over to Dunlap, to the corner, Henderson. Henderson dribbles around to the top, swings it over to Pole, inside Penn, outside Henderson, from the top for 3, no good. Rebound, tipped several which ways, recovered by Matarazzo, but the pass miscommunicated with Woods, who is taking off running, and that's just gonna go straight out of bounds.
Natick's adjusted their defense just a little bit on that steal from Henderson. She was playing still a press, but a little bit back. Almost a half-zone defense.
Olivia Zanini checks back in for Brookline, replacing Izzy Woods for Natick. I believe that is number 3, Lily Downing, into the game, replacing Bridget Pole, and she takes the inbound. Downing gives it over to Henderson. Henderson to Downing. Back to Henderson. Over to Downing. Now throws McMahon. Out to Downing. Swings it across. Dunlap runs in. Floater. No good. Disrupted by Matarazza. Rebound by Wheeler. And Wheeler draws the reach foul.
And yet another reaching foul here on Natick. And that's what came with the press. In addition to Brookline getting open, when Ivy Wheeler got in the bonus, those points wouldn't have came if it wasn't for all the fouls by Natick.
And a lot of those fouls coming from Kayla Dunlap, who is now checking out after committing her third foul. They rifle it in on the inbound. Mid-range jumper, Matarazza, no good. Rebound by Henderson. Henderson trying to keep her dribble, being pressured, and the foul is going to be called. I think that's going to go against Zanini, who tried to come in and help Wheeler on that one. And that's going to be her first personal, Brookline's second of the quarter. Still no points. We're a minute and a half into this second quarter. Been a bit start-stop here with all these fouls. But no score from either side as of yet in the second frame. Penn gives to Downing. Downing back to Penn. Over to Downing. Tries from the wing for three. No good. Rebound tipped. And a foul is called on Natick, as I think they called McMahon for the reach, trying to take the rebound away from Matarazza.
Well, this has been a game of defenses as Brookline has gotten a little bit more aggressive, started playing more press coverage on Natick. Natick, they've softened up their defense a bit, and both sides have had a lot of success in the early second.
Nefeli Agakic checking back in for Brookline, replacing Ivy Wheeler. As she'll throw the inbound, gives to Kimbrough, back out to Agakic. Agakic floats it across half court to Makaluski. Makaluski running, stops, pass out, deflected out of bounds by Downing. And it will stay Brookline ball.
And Brookline trying to work it to the right side there, but they got cornered by Downing.
Agakic, inbound, reach foul on Penn. And again, that aggressive Natick defense, they've been getting some steals, but like you said, Sam, the trade-off is they're getting some fouls too, and that could get their starters in trouble as Penn called for her second.
And a lot of these steals that Natick have gotten, Brookline still maintain possession. Gotta wonder if the trade-off's worth it.
Inbound, Kimbrough throws it over to Matarazza. Up top for Makaluski, fires for three, no good. Rebound by Sammy Collins. Now Henderson bringing up the ball, gives to Penn, inside McMahon. McMahon sent to the floor by the defensive pressure, and a jump ball is called as Makaluski got her hands on it. It will stay with Natick. With 5:35 still on the clock here in the second, through 2.5 minutes, no baskets either way. Inbound gets to Penn, swung across to McMahon, runs in, pass Henderson, outside, Penn tries for three, no good. Rebound chased down by Henderson. Henderson resets on the perimeter. Swings it across to Downing. Downing tries for three. No good. Rebound Collins. Collins passes out. Henderson mid-range. No good. Another offensive rebound. McMahon puts it up. No good. Another offensive rebound. And a foul called on Brookline.
Well, Brookline, they've been mainly disciplined in this game. One of the reasons why they're winning this game, that they've had less fouls.
But they're also getting less rebounds. That was, whenever you have a team get 4 or 5 chances at the net, that's not great. Inbound complete to McMahon, throws it out to Henderson. Gives to Downing, across to Penn, down baseline to Collins, kicks out Downing to the corner. Henderson runs baseline, pass intercepted. Oh, but McMahon keeps it just enough that Henderson able to recover. Downing throws inside, intercepted by Makaluski. Throws it up to Kimbrough. Kimbrough to a streaking Matarazza. Turnaround, layup, banks it easy. Finally, the first bucket of the second quarter, and who else but Olivia Matarazza, who reaches double figures in the first half. She's got 10.
And she's been a one-woman wrecking crew, absolutely dominant first half for her.
Penn throws inside. McMahon tries a shot. I think that was blocked by Matarazza, recovered by Agakic. Agakic running it up. She's got some opening. Kicks out. Zanini in the corner. Zanini Gives to Matarazzo at the top, hands it back to Agakic. And a timeout is called by Brookline as they reset. Olivia Matarazzo, the first player to reach double figures, and the first bucket of the second quarter. Just one basket from either side through the first 4 minutes of this quarter.
The score might not signal how low offense it's been, but this game has been simply determined off of defenses. In addition to Olivia Matarazzo, she's had an incredible performance, but it's been a story of when to press, when to play zone, when to cover the inside, when to defend the three, and what team's been doing that the best. That's been the big story.
Well, like you say, Sam, Natick has really been, when they're not getting the fast breaks off their press defense, when they actually are playing in the half court, they tend to work the classic inside-out game. You see a lot of passes into the key and then back out to the perimeter really fast to try and set up those three balls. But those three balls aren't falling for them so far in the first half. Their shooting has mostly been pretty cold from the outside. Brookline, most of their opportunities are created when they create turnovers and run the length of the floor after their defense gets a takeaway. So it's just a question of Natick's full court defense versus Brookline's strong transition game along with their strong half-court defense. As we return to the action, Agakic inbounds to Kimbrough. Kimbrough spins, runs in, floater, no good. Rebound being scrummed for. McMahon comes away with it. Gives it to Addie Roby, who's checked back into the game for the Redhawks. Pass across to McMahon. Gives out to Penn. Penn over to Pole, back to Penn. Now back to Pole, up top Penn, inside McMahon, outside Roby for three, hits it. Natick's been looking for those three balls, and they finally get one. Addie Roby.
And as you just said, we've been talking about how Natick hasn't been able to get the threes to fall, and they've had to take the threes. Brookline's did a good job with the 2-3 zone to guard the inside.
That foul called against Roby, her first personal, fourth team foul for Natick, one more. And Brookline will be shooting the bonus for the rest of the second quarter in what's been a very physical contest from both defenses so far.
And Brookline got the bonus in the first quarter, too.
Kimbrough throws inside. Zanini extra pass. Denker throws to the corner to Agakic. Now swings it over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough tries for three. No good. Rebound tipped a couple times. Agakic going to the floor for it, but McMahon picks it up. Now Pole bringing it the other way. Throws it up to Penn. Penn's got a lane. Easy layup for two. 6 points now for Olivia Penn as Natick takes back the lead. 5 quick points out of that timeout. Agakic chucks it across to Denker. Denker dribbling in, and she travels. Took one step too many before she threw that pass.
Natick's been working it consistently from the right side to the left. They've been able to get three-point opportunities and shots in the paint before Brookline can get back.
They throw it to the corner. Denai Williams up top. Penn over to Pole on the wing. Up top, Penn again. Over to the wing to Roby. Roby runs in, gets doubled, throws it out to Penn. Quick passing. Pole tries for three. Wide of the net, and it bounces out of bounds.
And again, Natick getting an opportunity on the left side as they've been able to dictate the movement of the Brookline defense.
Kira Henderson checks back in for Natick as she replaces Katie McMahon. And just waiting a second for a player to tie her laces. 16-14, Natick leads with 2.5 to go here in the second quarter. Quick passing from Brookline. Makaluski's pass intercepted as Roby came back for it and cut off Denker, and Denker gets called for the reach foul.
And Denker's been sneaking in behind on the left side, coming up from under the rim.
Now Penn walking it up. Gives to Roby. Back to Penn. Now throws a floater for Pole. Hard collision with Denker, and that's going to be her second foul. And I think that's going to trigger the bonus, as that'll be foul number 5 on the Warriors. And this is a double bonus. That's the way it works. 5 fouls, you jump instantly to the double bonus. So no 1-and-1s. We jump immediately to 2 free throws. We saw that a bit with Wheeler taking a couple of shots from the charity stripe in the first half. Now going to the line will be Bridget Pohl. Off the mark on the first. Pohl 0 for her first 3 at the line as Matarazza and Wheeler come back into the game for Brookline, replacing Denker and Makaluski.
And Bridget Pohl, she's been relatively shut down by the Warriors. Their efforts have worked so far.
And she hits that one. She goes 1 for 2 that time, as that one knocked out of bounds. Stays with Brookline. 17-14, the Natick lead. 2:09 on the clock here in the second quarter.
Well, Natick's gone back to the aggressive press. Brookline hasn't had an answer.
Zanini thrown into the corner, and a jump ball is forced. It's going to stay with Brookline, and that actually kept the ball with Brookline, as if Zanini had moved even an inch the other way, she was going out of bounds. Brookline subs in Izzy Woods in place of Zanini. After Zanini got trapped there, Agakich tries a long pass, deflected by Williams, and they're going to call a foul on Williams. And I think that should be...
They're not in the bonus.
Yeah, that should be 5. Yeah, and the officials quickly caught up with that, and so Wheeler will once again be going to the line, as that foul on Denai Williams will be Natick's 5th of the quarter. Both teams shooting the bonus until halftime, as that's the first foul on Williams. Wheeler was 2 for 2 her first trip to the line.
Now this is the second time Wheeler's been at the free throw line today.
And hits the first. She's been 3 for 3 so far, as McMahon back in for Natick, replacing Williams. And off on that one. So Wheeler goes 1 for 2. Natick running it fast the other way. Roby throws inside, and they're going to call a foul on, I think, Matarazza for a push there. And that's going to send Katie McMahon to the line. 3rd foul of the game on Matarazza. That's a player that Brookline does not want to see getting into foul trouble with how big she's been for their offense so far.
She's been outright dominant. A huge reason why Brookline's in the game.
McMahon hits the first free throw, and subbing in for the first time today for Brookline will be number 22, Viviana McDonald, replacing Matarazza. McMahon 1 for 2 at the line, rebound Wheeler. Wheeler off and running, throws it, deflected out of bounds by Roby. It will stay with the Warriors.
Brookline's been getting a lot of these favorable calls on the out of bounds plays.
Inbound to Woods. Woods runs in, floater, no good. Rebound collected by McDonald and passes out to Wheeler. Wheeler runs inside, blocked by McMahon. Loose ball picked up by Penn. Penn throws it up, knocked down by Woods, recovered by Kimbrough. Kimbrough running the other way, and Kimbrough gets fouled and will go to the line for 2.
And as you were saying, Jesse, Brookline, they need to utilize the fast break like they did there. That's where they've been having the most success before Natick can get into formation. Been doing a good job to spread themselves out.
Both teams kind of struggling to score on set plays today, but the transition game has been the key for scoring, as Kimbrough will go to the line.
Transition and turnovers.
Off on the first. That foul was called on Kira Henderson, her second personal, and so she will sub out for Christina Lopez. Kimbrough misses both. McDonald, the rebound, gets stuffed by McMahon. Loose ball recovered by Penn. Quick passing. Oh, but Roby slipped and fell and lost the ball, and Brookline will get it back.
Just an unfortunate play for Natick there. Brookline definitely caught some breaks tonight.
18-15, the Natick lead, and a takeaway by Pohl on the press. Goes inside, no good, but gets fouled.
Bridget Pohl's been a dominant presence inside for Natick.
Bridget Pohl, 1 for 4 at the line so far today. That accounts for her lone point so far, as she has not made a shot from the field just yet. And she hits the first. The vibrations from fans stomping their feet, moving our scoreboard cam a bit, as Pohl sets up for her second free throw. And she goes 2 for 2 at the line this time. She's now got 3 points. Natick leads by 5, and they deflect that one out of bounds. It was McMahon who got her hands on that one. Quick inbound now to Woods. Woods gets trapped, passes away. Aga Kitch chucks it across half court to McDonald. Wide open is Wheeler, fakes, goes up and missed it. Rebound tip to Kimbrough, put back, missed it. Rebound by Kimbrough again, and her foot hit the line before she could pass it away.
Man, and Ivy Wheeler just getting wide open there. That's been a big success factor for Brookline when they've had people getting wide open, primarily on the left side.
Throw to the corner, Lopez for 3. No good, rebound Roby. Pass to a cutting Pohl who goes inside for 2. Bridget Pohl finding her rhythm. She's got 5 points as that one out of bounds. And they're gonna say it wasn't deflected, and so it will be Natick ball. 41.9 seconds left. Natick leading by 7, 22-15, as Pohl throws to the corner. Lopez for 3, goes off the top of the backboard, and that's going to be out of bounds.
And Lopez has been open on a couple of these plays now on that left side.
Kimbrough fakes out a defender, runs in, throws to the corner. Wheeler tries for 3, no good, oversailed it. Deflected out of bounds, last touch by Brookline.
And both sides have been using the cross-court game to get open looks.
26.1 seconds left in the second quarter as Penn walks it up, gives to Pohl, back over to Penn, back to Pohl, just playing catch right now, throw inside McMahon, outside Pohl, down low to Roby, floater no good, tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Natick with 7.3 seconds before halftime. And it's been a strong run for Natick, an 11-1 run since Brookline scored the first basket of the second quarter. Closing seconds, Pohl couldn't hit the buzzer beater, and that is how the first half will end. Our score at the end of 2, the Natick Redhawks 22, the Brookline Warriors 15. And Natick in the second half of that second quarter outscoring Brookline 11-1. Brookline held to just 3 points in the second frame. Individual point totals for Brookline: Olivia Matarazza leading all scorers with 10, Ivy Wheeler with 3, and Izzy Woods with 2. For Natick, leading the way, Olivia Penn with 6 points, Bridget Pohl with 5, and then Denai Williams, Addie Roby, and Katie McMahon with 3 points each, and Kayla Dunlap with 2. And as we go into this halftime break, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent, Dr. Brandon Esch, for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. All that can be found in the description section down below. And you can also find a link to the official booster club of Brookline High Girls Basketball, the Triple Threat Boosters, as we're going to have a performance by the cheerleaders. All right. Nice performance from the BHS cheerleading team. And like I was saying, you can go down to the description section of this video to check out link and phone number for our sponsor, Esh Dental. You can also find a link to the official Venmo account of the Triple Threat Boosters Club, which supports Brookline High girls basketball. And you can also find a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The pantry has been serving an average of 650 households each week, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish at 210 Harvard Street in Coolidge Corner on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the Food Pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. Go online or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can help volunteer with the pantry and help to feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And all those links and phone numbers can be found in the description section of this video down below. Our score at half: the Natick Redhawks 22, the Brookline Warriors 15. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Schluntz Gym in Brookline, Massachusetts. We're going to take a break and mute our mics for halftime, but we will be back with the second half. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan alongside Sam Lowenstein here at Schluntz Gym at Brookline High School in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you the second half of this high school varsity girls basketball contest between the Brookline High Warriors and the Natick High Redhawks. Natick leading 22-15 as we get ready to start the third quarter. Brookline to get the opening possession of the third frame here. Olivia Zanini to inbound for the Warriors. Sends it back to Jada Kimbrough, and here we go at the second half. Kimbrough throws it over to Nefeli Aga-Kitch. Aga-Kitch swings it across to Kimbrough. Now to the corner to Skylar Makaluski. Makaluski looking around, runs baseline. Pass across to Kimbrough. Kimbrough runs in, kicks out. Aga-Kitch from the wing for three. No good. Couldn't get the rim roll. Rebound collected by Olivia Penn for Natick. Walks it up, throws to the corner to Kayla Dunlap, who gets trapped in the corner. Tries to escape. Passes out, gets to Penn. Penn runs in, throws backdoor cut. Bridget Pohl for two.
And Bridget Pohl, she's been making a bigger impact as the game has gone on. Brookline was able to neutralize her in the early going.
Sloppy turnover by Brookline, as I think Aga-Kitch wasn't ready for that pass to come back to her after Zanini took the inbound. And so they give it right back to Natick. Pohl, who's now got 7 points out of that last bucket, tries to inbound. It's rejected by Olivia Matarazza, who's provided most of Brookline's offense early, 10 of the team's 15 points. Pohl inbounds, scrum for the ball. To the floor they go. Dunlap passes it away to Sammy Collins. They swing it around. Kira Henderson to Pohl. Pohl. What do they call a carry or a travel?
Looks like a travel to me.
Either way, they call a violation on Natick. It's Brookline ball. They inbound right into the trap, but pass it back. Zanini trying to break the press, and she does. Throws it up to Makaluski, out to Aga-Kitch. Aga-Kitch throws inside to Matarazza, who gets fouled from behind.
And yet another foul here on Natick. In the first half, Natick got into a ton of foul trouble. Brookline got into the bonus in both the first and the second quarter.
Indeed, it's been a very start-stop rhythm to this game with all the fouls. Aga-Kitch floats it in. Makaluski, extra pass, intercepted by Penn. Penn running in transition, throws it up. Going baseline is Pohl, lays it up, missed it, but another foul called on Matarazza, and that's a backbreaker for Brookline early in the second half, as that'll be 4 fouls on Matarazza, as Pohl will go to the line for 2. At least I'm pretty sure that was on Matarazza. The scoreboard hasn't
Looked to
updated
me
to
as
show.
Bridget Pohl's at the line for the 4th time today.
Misses that one. And Matarazza is going to check out for Viviana McDonald. And we'll see how Brookline is able to handle being without their leading scorer of the game thus far. Pohl hits 1 of 2. She's got 8 points now, leading the Natick scorers as that's taken away on the inbound. Penn pass to Dunlap, now to Henderson. Henderson dribbles back out and resets. Floats it to the corner to Dunlap. Now back out to Penn. Penn swings it across to Pohl. Back to Penn. Back over to Henderson. Henderson fakes, runs in. Extra pass. Collins blocked. And they call the foul. That's either going to be on McDonald or Aga-Kitch. And that's going to be another shooting foul, as Natick will go back to the line.
And Natick working it from the right side there. They've been having a lot of success weaving their way into the middle of the court when they've had the open lanes. Brookline's mostly played really solid defense in the paint with their 2-3.
And that foul was called on Aga-Kitch, her first personal, Brookline's second. As a timeout is called, and Natick starting out strong here in the second half. They now lead by 10. Brookline After scoring the first bucket of the second quarter, midway through that quarter, they went up 14-11. Since then, Natick has outscored them 14-1. It's been a rough time for the Brookline offense.
And Brookline's offense, they got the good looks. At the end of the first half, they just haven't been able to hit them. Gotten open three-point shots, some looks in the paint, really everywhere you can ask for. But definitely Olivia Maserata having 4 fouls, 2 away from fouling out. That's ultra dangerous for the Brookline Warriors.
And there's also at times what I've seen, there's been some slight problems with passivity sometimes with the Brookline players. Sometimes it feels like they're throwing one too many passes just to try and look for that extra good look. Out of the timeout, it'll be Sammy Collins at the line, missing the first. And misses them both. Rebound by Makaluski. Gives to Agakich. Agakich across to Makaluski. Hit hard by Penn, and that's going to be a foul call.
And a big hit from Penn on Makaluski. Even in their half-court defense, Natick, they've been pressing hard.
And I think that's 3 fouls on Olivia Penn. I'm not sure. The scoreboard a little slow to update those. Kimbrough, a nice fake, runs in, floater, banks in. Beautiful play by Jada Kimbrough for her first points of the new season. Penn has the ball at the top. Throws it over to Pole. Pole at the top, dribbles, lost her footing. No foul as she just slipped and fell on the hardwood, and the ball rolls out of bounds as Brookline gets a free turnover there. Addie Roby checks in, replacing Olivia Penn, who's in a bit of foul trouble herself. Inbound Kimbrough. Kimbrough trying to muscle through, but could not. Loose ball picked up by Roby, gives to Pole. Pole goes inside and draws the foul. Once again, Brookline struggling with that strong press defense from Natick, as every time they inbound, it's like 2 players teleport to the ball handler.
And Brookline, they haven't been able to get enough passes to get while being able to get open. In this second half, Natick, they've improved their communication, and that suffocated the Warriors' attack.
That foul was called on Kimbrough, her second personal, 3rd team foul for Brookline. Pole again at the line, and she hits the first. Bridget Pole now with 9 points as she leads Natick here in the 3rd quarter, trying to become the first Red Hawk to reach double figures. And she does. 2 for 2 at the line. She's now got 10.
That's the 5th time she went to the free throw line today.
Checking in now for the Red Hawks, number 33, Katie McMahon, replacing Sammy Collins. Long inbound goes to Makaluski. Makaluski stops, and the ball is forced into a jump ball as Kayla Dunlap got her hands on that one. Zanini looking for an inbound as the possession arrow points to Brookline, and missed that one, taken away by Henderson. Henderson throws up to McMahon. McMahon travels. A little bit of hesitation throwing that pass, and as a result took that extra step.
Well, Makalevsky had a wide open Viviana McDonald on the left side, but the zone coverage was able to neutralize that. Forced her to go elsewhere, ultimately leading to turnover.
Inbound goes to Zanini. Zanini, pass over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough from the top, lost the ball. Pocket picked by Henderson. Henderson almost lost the ball off the foot of a teammate, and Natick is forced to call timeout. Brookline's had a lot of trouble with Natick, allowing the Natick defenders to just get their hands on the ball. Even when they get across half court, Sam, it seems like players like Dunlap and Henderson, just very aggressive hands, getting their hands on the ball and disrupting the Brookline ball handlers.
And you talked about Brookline's problem with over passivity, not taking the shots when they get them. Natick's been the exact opposite. And often with these things, even though Natick has had a lot of fouls, their aggressive defense and offense too, their approach has paid off. And they've been in control of this game ever since the second quarter.
And we've got a note in our live chat from a Brookline High girls basketball alum and current member of the Franklin Pierce University women's basketball team, Gianna Bryant, saying, "Let's go Brookline," cheering on her old teammates. Thanks so much for tuning in, Gianna. Hope you're enjoying the game and hope all is well at Franklin Pierce. 5:14 on the clock here in the third quarter. It will be Natick ball as the timeout preserved their possession. They lead by 10, 27-17. Inbound goes to Dunlap, runs in, puts it up, no good, in and out. Rebound bounces to Henderson, who lost the ball, colliding with traffic again. Loose ball results in a jump ball. Henderson is trying to quickly run in, grab that ball, and throw up a shot, but I think she ran into her own teammate there, which resulted in that loose ball. Pole running in and gets fouled, trying to fit her way through a couple of defenders. And so I think they determined not a shot. So they will be an inbound, but that is 3 fouls now on Jada Kimbrough. That's another tough player for Brookline to get into foul trouble as Kayla Dunlap finds herself wide open on the inbound for 2. She's now got 4 points today.
Well, on that foul, Bridget Pohl is trying to get a pass outright.
Now Woods kicks out to Kimbrough, steps in, long 2, no good. Rebound collected by Henderson. Henderson walks it up. Just holding it at the top. Goes to her left, drives in, and I think they might have called the charge. They did. They called the charge on Henderson, unless they called just an out of bounds. They might have just called no foul and out of bounds. Long inbound knocked out of bounds by Dunlap as Aga Kitch was trying to bypass the press once again with another one of those long passes. Does effectively bypass it as the inbound from about half court. Woods driving, pass lost, taken away by Henderson, throws it up to Dunlap, running on the fast break, goes up and hits it. Kayla Dunlap, the freshman, with 6 points now for Natick as they lead by 14. Kimbrough hands off to Wheeler. Wheeler, pass knocked out of bounds by Denai Williams.
And the Natick offense has been running through Henderson. She's been able to facilitate everyone else on the team.
Inbound goes to Woods. Woods almost lost her dribble, now picks it up, hands off to Wheeler. Wheeler is going to get the foul call as she collided with Dunlap, and that's going to be 4 fouls on the Natick freshman. And now she's going to sub out Olivia Penn back into the game. Both teams with a couple players battling foul trouble here in the second half. Inbound to Kimbrough. Kimbrough battling down that far sideline, gets an opening, runs, throws up top to Aga Kitch. Aga Kitch now runs in, goes up and draws the foul on McMahon.
From the Philly Aga kids trying to get on the right side. Brookline, they primarily been playing from the left. They have been also shut down. So Aga kids just having her chance.
And Aga Kitch in and out on the first. The leading scorer of last year's team. She has yet to score here today. And she gets her first point of the new season as she goes 1 for 2 at the line. Penn throws it to McMahon. McMahon looking around from the wing, goes inside to Henderson, back out to McMahon. Almost lost the ball, now lost the ball, diving for it. Aga Kitch and Woods They call the jump ball, possession arrow to Brookline.
And Brookline's defense has still been in control. They haven't given up all that much in this third quarter. Their offense has still been trapped.
A long pass from Aga-Kitch, intercepted by McMahon, but McMahon steps on the sideline and gives it back to Brookline as the Warriors still struggling to break that press.
Brookline's been trying to work the long passes. Ivy Wheeler there, the intended target, but McMahon right in the way to intercept it.
Now Woods dribbling around. Gets a pass away to Wheeler. Wheeler going inside and travels. Thought she was going to get an opening. There was a bit of traffic, a bit of a congested lane as McDonald was also down low in the post. And now the ball goes back to Natick.
And Brookline just hasn't found a single open spot in this second half.
Long inbound to Pole, breaks Brookline's press. Pole running inside, and they're going to call the foul on Kimbrough as she collided with Pole there, and Bridget Pole is going back to the line once again.
Now the 6-time Bridget Pole will shoot free throws. She's been keeping the Brookline defense honest.
And that's a tough fourth foul for Kimbrough, and that is going to put Brookline in the bonus, so Natick will be shooting bonus free throws for the rest of the quarter. Pole in and out on her first attempt, and Kimbrough is going to have to join Matarazza, her fellow starter with foul trouble, on the bench as Kyrie Simmons back into the game for the Warriors. Pole 1 for 2. She's got 11 points now for the Red Hawks. The pass deflected by McMahon. Simmons recovered it, but now it's taken away. Penn hits it and one.
Now Brookline being exploited on the inside as they're trying to compensate, bringing their forwards to the outsides a little bit.
Another takeaway from the press defense. And Natick close to doubling up Brookline now. Penn misses the and one. Rebound McDonald. Gives to Woods. Runs the floor. Manages to get a pass away to Aga-Kitch, who fires from the wing. No good on the three ball. Rebound tipped loose by McDonald. Going to the floor is Wheeler and Henderson. And I believe that's going to be a jump ball possession arrow Natick. 2:34 on the clock here in the third quarter. The inbound deflected but recovered by Pole. Pole gives to Penn. Penn looking around, draws a reach foul on Wheeler, and that's going to send her right to the line for the bonus free throws.
Bridget Pole is running a screenplay there for Natick. First time they've been implemented that today. As they switch up the offense.
Penn hits the first of two. She's now got 9. One more free throw, and not only would she become the second Natick player to reach double figures, but Natick would officially have twice as many points as Brookline. And that nails it. Olivia Penn now at 10 points today. And Natick leads Brookline by 18, and Brookline throws it away on the inbound.
Well, the big difference between Brookline and Natick in this game, in addition to the press defense that Natick's been doing, how they've suffocated Brookline, but they've just had more players giving good production. Brookline, they were really a one-person wrecking crew with Olivia Matarazza. Besides Matarazza, they've been shut down.
Penn holding the ball, gives it to Pole. Pole drives in, finds the lane, and finds the hoop for 2. 13 points now for the Natick sophomore. Woods racing upfield, or up court, gives it to McDonald, who whiffs on the open lay-in, and it's recovered by Penn. Fast-placed play, required some precise timing, and McDonald just couldn't get the right touch on that ball. Pole now with it. Runs in, gets through the defense. Bridget Pole coming alive now finding some buckets, not just on the fast break, but now on the half-court set plays, as this pass blocked, and whoa! Players got tangled up and going to the floor. And they're going to call a foul on Simmons, and that's going to send Natick back to the free throw line. Second foul for Simmons. And now Penn goes to the line for 2.
And Jesse, we talked about at the beginning of this game, Brookline's need to neutralize Bridget Paul, how well she did last time these two teams met last year.
As Penn hits the first of 2, she's now got 11. 2 subs checking in for Brookline, Julia Danker and Skylar Makaluski replacing Simmons and McDonald. Penn misses the second free throw, but the rebound chased down by McMahon, and the Redhawks keep it. McMahon passes for a cutting Roby, who gets the shot up, no good. McMahon battling for the offensive board again, and this time a jump ball will give it back to Brookline. But another string of offensive rebounds for Natick. We saw them get a string like that a couple of times in the first half.
And it goes back to the point that Natick has been more aggressive than Brookline in this game. They've been getting the second chance buckets, more rebounds, yes, more fouls, but in the long run, those fouls and extra free throws Brookline has gotten haven't really mattered.
And the aggressive play from Natick has even drawn them some fouls on Brookline, as Brookline now her second straight quarter in the bonus. Long pass from Woods finds Danker, gives to Zanini. Zanini looking, pass, does get to Woods. Woods looking around. With her dribble picked up, she's got to get it away. Gets to Makaluski, and Makaluski travels, walled off by the collapsing Natick defense.
Brookline had Ivy Wheeler open on the left side, but the shell defense from Natick allowed her to be totally covered.
Inbound, knocked loose by Woods, but couldn't save it. It's taken back by Roby. Given now to Henderson. Throws it up to Roby. Roby out to Henderson. Brookline trying to press like Natick, but Natick's been able to bust it as Henderson's pass deflected by Pohl. And going to the floor for it is Makaluski, and draws a loose ball foul. And that's going to put Natick in the bonus and send Brookline to the free throw line.
Even though Brookline hasn't aimed to be as aggressive as Natick, the pressure that Natick has applied, it's forced Brookline to foul, do things they don't want to in this game.
Now the freshman, Skylar Makaluski, going to the line.
Sole freshman on the Warriors.
And she hits her first high school career point with that free throw. Penn back in the game for Natick, replacing Lily Downing. Makaluski goes 1 for 2 at the line. Rebound by Henderson. Henderson escapes the trap in part by bowling over a defender. Throws it up to Penn now. Penn gives to Pohl. Pohl dribbling around, goes inside and draws another defensive foul.
Bridget Pohl, she's drawn so many fouls this game. This is her 7th time to the free throw line. Even if it wasn't for all the points she has gotten, she's just been a hassle for the Warriors defense.
Well, when you combine speed, size, and muscle like Pohl has got, it is very hard to defend without committing a foul. As Pohl hits the first of 2, she now has 16 points tonight.
But Bridget Pohl, for how good she's been backed up by other good performances on the Natick team.
That one rebounded by Danker. Pass away from the double team, lost by Makaluski, but picked up by Wheeler. Wheeler runs it across half court, Trying to dribble away from the double team, gets the pass away to Makaleski. Makaleski throws it up. Woods, the jumper, hits it. Izzy Woods with her second bucket of the day. She's got 4 points. And that is how the third quarter will end. Our score at the end of 3, Natick 42, Brookline 21. Once again, a reminder, this broadcast brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS Sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com and find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. All that information you can find in the description section down below, and you can see the Esch Dental logo in the bottom center of your screen. Individual point totals so far for Brookline. Olivia Matarazza still leading the way with those 10 points she got in the first 12 minutes of the game. Izzy Woods with 4, the only other player who's hit multiple shots from the field. Ivy Wheeler with 3 points, all at the free throw line. Jada Kimbrough with 2 points. And Skylar Makaleski and Nefeli Agakich with 1 each. So only 3 players, Matarazzo, Woods, and Kimbrough, have hit shots from the field for Brookline so far. They've just had trouble finding the looks they want, and then when they do manage to find some looks, they've had trouble finishing.
And that's been the huge problem for Brookline. They have talented players, but whole team needs to make big contributions.
Backcourt violation as Denker received the inbound on the Natick side of the court, but her foot went over the line there. And that will give it right back to Natick as we start the fourth quarter. Collins gives to Penn. Penn to Pohl. Pohl with a game-high 16 points so far as they work it up top to Henderson. Now they work to the corner to Dunlap. Dunlap to Collins, knocked loose, recovered by Penn. Swings it back over to Dunlap. They go baseline to Henderson. Inside Collins, turn around, no good. Rebound being scrummed for, and it'll be a jump ball.
Well, at the beginning of this game, Jesse, we talked about the importance of Brookline's youth talent, their freshmen and their sophomores, Skylar Makaleski.
That one missed by Penn. Rebound chased down by Wheeler. And that's going to be a foul on Natick, the first of this new quarter.
Makaleski being one of the lone scorers for Brookline, along with Izzy Woods, the sophomore.
Inbound to Woods. Woods is trapped, barely escapes and gets the pass to Zanini. Throws it across half court to Denker. Throw inside, intercepted by Collins. And Collins called for the double dribble as she kind of juggled that ball there. Looks like Brookline is going to bring back in Olivia Matarazza, replacing Julia Denker. See if maybe she can give a spark to this offense here in the second half, as we haven't seen much of her since the second quarter. Inbound to Woods. Drives in, kicks out to Zanini. Zanini drives in, extra pass. Matarazza throws up a shot, no good. Own rebound, put back, no good. Draws the foul.
And that's the impact of Olivia Matarazza. Despite having 4 fouls, 10 points, by far the top performing player today for Brookline. As soon as she goes on the court, drawing a foul there.
Matarazza misses the first free throw, and again, tough looks with the few too many passes there. Looked like Woods might have had a good look at the basket, but opted to pass to Zanini. Zanini went for a low pass, which is tough to get those low passes through to a player as tall as Matarazza. And Matarazza barely recovered to get a shot up at all and draw the foul. She goes 1 for 2 at the line, her first point of the second half. 11 so far today for Matarazza. Pohl across half court. is hit with a reach foul. That's going to be called on Zanini. Her second personal.
Just an unfortunate play for Brookline as Natick looks to get it to the left side. So now they switch, bringing their players to the right.
Inbound goes to Penn. Penn throws it up to Henderson. Cross Dunlap. Fires for three. No good. Rebound bounces right to Matarazza. Tries a pass. Knocked out of bounds by Henderson. It'll stay Brookline ball. Makaluski miscommunicates with Zanini, taken away by Pohl, and Pohl is fouled again. As Brookline's had a couple of those plays where the player throwing the pass thinks their teammate is going one way, but then actually the teammate has a different thought and goes a different way. They've had a couple of those, and those have just been tough turnovers for the Warriors. Quick inbound, Dunlap hits the bucket. They've had a couple of those plays as well with the quick cuts. Dunlap now with 8 points. Brookline's got a 3-on-1, and they lose it on the interception by Dunlap. Running the other way, going up and in as Kayla Dunlap, the freshman for Natick, the third player to reach double figures. She's got 10. That one knocked out of bounds by Henderson as Nefeli Agakich subs back in for the Warriors.
Well, Skylar Makalevsky, she was running down the left side.
And throws that one away as it's taken back. McMahon, the shot, rolls in. Katie McMahon now with 5. Agakich tries a home run. Ball gets it to Wheeler. Wheeler's got Matarazza wide open. Goes up and in. A familiar play there, but one we haven't really seen since the first half as Matarazza now with 13 today. Henderson throws it up to Pohl. Pohl going inside and travels. She kind of stumbled over her own feet there. Jada Kimbrough back into the game for Brookline, replacing Makaluski. Kimbrough also battling foul trouble, but they're hoping here in the fourth quarter that maybe she can bring a spark here. Kimbrough to her right, defender falls. Kimbrough tries for three, no good. Rebound tipped, but collected by Henderson. Throws it to Dunlap, who's taking off on transition. Lost the ball, though, and it's going to give it back to Brookline.
Well, the immense impacts of Olivia Matarazza, 13 points tonight, more than half of Brookline's total output.
Kimbrough walks it up. And almost lost the ball. It's recovered by Wheeler. Now Wheeler running in. Floater, no good. Rebound tipped. Chased down Matarazza. Passes up top to Agakich as Brookline resets. Almost miscommunication there, but does get it to Kimbrough. Bounce pass knocked away, but Matarazza recovers, tips it back to Wheeler. Wheeler over to Kimbrough. Cross to Woods. Woods to Agakich. Agakich running in, tries a floater, no good. Rebound Pohl. Pohl looking stolen by Agakich. Agakich running on the fast break, pass to Wheeler. Wheeler goes up, no good, but does draw a foul.
Ivy Wheeler's been able to get open on multiple instances this game, left and the right side. She's been often running parallel as she was to Agakich there, getting a good look and going to the line.
First foul of the game for Bridget Pohl as Wheeler goes to the line for the third time today. Off the mark on the first. And 1 for 2. Wheeler now with 4 points today. McMahon holding the ball. Light press from Brookline as Henderson breaks it again, but lost control of that one and throws it away.
And just threw that one into no man's land in between two teammates. A lot of miscommunication, mostly for Brookline, but there's been a fair share of mistakes for Natick.
Kimbrough from the wing goes inside. Matarazza back and down. Turnaround jumper is good. Great post moves by Matarazza. 15 points now today.
Olivia Matarazza has been outright dominant.
Throw it across half court to Dunlap. Dunlap running in. Shot's no good. Rebound tipped loose. Recovered by Henderson. Henderson looking around for somewhere to go. Gives it out to Penn. Penn resets from the top. Floats it inside. McMahon. Shot is good. Katie McMahon with 7 points as Kimbrough brings it up 50-27. The Natick lead. Travel called on Kimbrough.
And that play can just sum up the day that Brookline has had. They got off to a solid start in the first quarter, but ever since the second, they have struggled mightily against Natick.
Inbound goes to Penn. Penn gives to Dunlap. Dunlap sees a lane, goes in, and hits the left-handed layup for 2. 12 points now for Kayla Dunlap.
And the freshman Dunlap, she's been making a huge impact on the game.
Kimbrough to Woods to Aga Kitch. Aga Kitch tried to go inside, but it's stolen. Deflected by McMahon, recovered by Pohl, and Pohl again gets fouled by Brookline as a flurry of subs getting ready to come in for Natick. They're going to do, I think, a full 5 substitution here as Downing, Williams, Collins, Lopus, and Roby come into the game. Brookline with a substitution as well, seeing the floor for the first time today. Number 14, Jaden Williams. Inbounded to Downing. Downing throws it to Collins. Out to Downing. Pass goes across Roby. That pass blocked by Woods, recovered by Jaden Williams. Williams running up with it, passes back to Kimbrough. Over to Aga Kitch. Aga Kitch goes inside Matarazza. Back out, Aga Kitch for 3. No good. Rebound, bounces, recovered by Woods, gives to Aga Kitch, goes inside, no good on the layup. Rebound, Williams. Williams tries to go up, stuffed, recovered by Collins.
When Brookline's had the open looks, they just haven't been able to convert.
Roby recovers that pass, and her pass deflected out of bounds by Aga Kitch. It'll stay with Natick.
In Brookline, they've had some solid interceptions there. Aga Kitch able to get in front of the pass, but despite being good in the half court, Natick's just killed the Warriors in transition.
Williams steps back, 3 ball. Missed it, recovered by Aga Kitch on the rebound. And a reach foul is now going to be called on Downing. 2 minutes and 1 second left in this one. The outcome seeming pretty well set in stone with Natick leading Brookline by 25 here in the fourth quarter. Kimbrough walks it up. Misses Williams. Another sloppy turnover for Brookline as Natick takes over. Inbound goes to Downing. Downing's pass deflected and couldn't be recovered by Brookline, and so it will stay with Natick.
Natick spreading out their offense. Brookline not having an answer.
Williams collides with Williams there, and that's going to be a foul on Williams.
Don't see that every day.
And that is going to be foul number 4. And so that's not a bonus foul. Williams will not go to the free throw. Will not go to the free throw line because of the foul committed by Williams. Okay, I'm going to stop that now.
It was good while it lasted.
It was fun while it lasted. Jaden Williams commits the foul on Denai Williams. Now an inbound for Natick as they go out to Lopus, tries for 3 and hits it from the wing. Christina Lopus with her first bucket of the night. Kimbrough running. Goes in, floater no good, rebound Downing. Downing running in transition. Gives out to Williams. Williams picks up the ball, gives to Lopez. Lopez goes inside Collins, layup is good. Sammy Collins with her first bucket of the night,
Well, Jesse,
as Natick now leads by 30.
both sides have had good looks, just Natick's been vastly more efficient than Brookline.
And Izzy Woods with a nice long 2 there. She's got 6 tonight. And I think we got a timeout called by Natick. So it looks like they might be subbing in one last player here in the closing minute. And Izzy Woods, the other player, having a solid day offensively for Brookline, as she's got 6 points, second to the 15 from Olivia Matarazza. The only Brookline players who have hit multiple shots from the field so far tonight. For Natick, a pretty well spread scoring output, 16 from Pohl, 12 from Dunlap, 11 from Penn, 7 from McMahon, 3 each from Lopez, Williams, and Roby, and 2 from Collins. For Brookline so far, 15 from Matarazza, 6 from Woods, 4 from Wheeler, 2 from Kimbrough, and 1 each from Makaluski and Aga Kitch. Downing now at the ball here in the final minute of the game. Gives to Williams, tries for 3, no good. Rebound Aga Kitch. Aga Kitch running the floor, pass to Williams, juggled, lost, jump ball, possession arrow to Brookline.
Brookline trying to find Jaden Williams on a bounce pass, but the other Williams is able to get to it. Natick has had really what's been a balanced defense, mix of interceptions and pressing.
Inside, Matarazza puts it in for 2. 17 points for Olivia Matarazza. She's been having a great day on offense. Just hasn't translated, as we got another shot hit for 2 by number 14, who is not on my roster. Might have been a JV call up there. Matarazza turnaround jumper is good. 19 points for Olivia Matarazza to end the ball game. A spectacular day from Matarazza, but a tough day for Brookline. The final score, the Natick High Redhawks 59, the Brookline High Warriors 33. Final individual point totals for Natick: 16 points from Bridget Pohl, Kayla Dunlap with 12, Olivia Penn with 11, Katie McMahon with 7, 3 each from Christina Lopez, Denai Williams, and Addie Roby, and 2 each from Sammy Collins and number 14. For Brookline, Olivia Matarazza leading all scorers and putting up not just a career high in points, but also more than any player scored in any single game last season, as she finished with 19 today. Izzy Woods, a solid day of her own with 6, Ivy Wheeler with 4, Jada Kimbrough with 2, Skylar Makaluski and Nefeli Agakich with 1 point each. Tough way to start for Brookline, like you said, Sam. They started out pretty solid, a good competitive first quarter. Actually ended the first quarter with a 12-11 lead. Scored the first bucket of the second quarter about midway through the quarter to go up 14-11. But from there, it really was all Natick.
Well, it just seemed, Jesse, that the shots were not falling for Brookline, with the exception of Olivia Mazzarato, who had an incredible career day. 19 points. Izzy Woods, she showed a lot of promise for the Brookline Warriors program. And we talked about, again, before the game, the importance of Brookline developing their underclassmen, the freshmen and the sophomores. Skylar Makaluski, she scored, and I think despite the tough loss, this game, Brookline could take a lot of positive things out of it.
All right, well, that is going to do it for this one here. Thank you all so much for watching again. Thank you to Esh Dental for sponsoring this broadcast. Esh Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esh for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eshdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. You can see that link and phone number in the description section down below, where you can also find a link to the official Venmo account of the Triple Threat Boosters, which supports Brookline High girls basketball. You can also find a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry. And you can also find some links related to me, which you can also see in the bottom right corner of your screen, my personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Final score, Natick 59, Brookline 33. From Schluntz Gym in Brookline, Massachusetts, alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.